It's August 25th, 2019. It's been pretty warm here in Seattle this week. Let's start the update over here as usual with the ficus tree. You can see it's sending out a lot of new leaves, so the tree is looking a lot fuller. This pine tree looks pretty much the same. Over here we have the elephant food plant. It's looking a lot fuller too. And the Frizzle sizzle, you can see the flowers have opened, like this one over. Well, it hasn't completely opened yet, but you can see the form of the flower now. Over here we have the tomatoes. You can see more fruits are maturing and ready for harvest. Down here we just have some flowers, and over here, after I pruned the California poppy, you can see some new growth. Here we have the hydrangea. You can see some new growth as well after I pruned the plant. Lavender, some nice flower up here. And then here's some new growth as well after I pruned the plants. Rosemary looks pretty much the same, like this one too. Peony, yeah, pretty much the same too. Over here we have the beautiful pineapple. You can see this top part of the plant is a lot healthier, looking a lot healthier. And you can see a lot of new leaves coming out nicely. Yeah, just the top part of the plant looks really healthy. The green onion looks pretty much the same, pretty much just new leaves coming out. And the new leaves are actually really thick, as you can see. Yeah, like that. The succulents, you can see they're all growing really well, especially this one over here. The leaf is looking really nice, and this little guy that I just transplanted is looking good too. This one is good too. Over here we have the mulberry. You can see the leaves are a little curly because I haven't watered them for a while, and I just watered them, so yeah. The dahlia, no new flowers for now, but yeah, the plant is still sending out some new flower buds. Down here we have the lily of the valley. Let's take a look at the seed or the fruits. You can see some of them have started to turn a little yellow orange-ish, so they're gonna mature pretty soon. One's still kind of green, and these ones are turning a little yellow. Up here we have the blueberry. You can see some of the fruits has dried up because I haven't really harvested the fruits recently, but then these ones over here are looking pretty good. And then over here we have the calla lily. You can see this flower over here is turning really green, and at the center of the flower you can see some green stuff forming. That's the seed pod forming. And I think these are a few new leaves coming out. Overall the plant looks pretty healthy. Strawberries are looking good, a lot of leaves now. And let's take a look at the fruits. This one looks perfect. This is like a perfect strawberry shape. Ready for harvest, of course. And then up here we have some not so perfect strawberry. This one right here doesn't look like it's pollinated correctly. This one is a little better, but still oddly shaped. Right here, this one is a lot better. You can see it's more of a regular strawberry shape, so it's ready for harvest. Let's see if we have more strawberries. Doesn't look like there's any, but all the runners are still coming out from the plants. Let's look at the other strawberry pot. Take a look at all these runners. Going crazy with all the runners. And I believe there's another strawberry over here. Yep, this one is nicely shaped too. So I'm gonna harvest this guy too. Now we have 3 strawberries. Yeah, So the strawberries are looking good. This blueberry plant looks pretty much the same. Hydrangea, you can see it's still sending out new flowers. This growth over here is pretty interesting. There's like leaves in between the flowers. I don't really see this. Like this one, you can kind of see the flower structure is a little different. You can see this flower cluster is separated by like a few smaller clusters. While the other ones, like this one, are not separated into as many clusters. And right here, look at the smaller hydrangea. You can see this weird growth at this node with some flower forming. And over here, it's the same thing. You can see some flowers forming at this node, which is not at the tip of the stem, so it's kind of weird. Plain corpse is looking good. You can see all the flowers are still around, and it's actually still sending out new flowers. Asparagus looks pretty much the same. I think it's slowly dying back now. Some of the leaves are turning yellow. And then let's look at the raspberries. You can see all these new matured fruits that's ready for harvest. Let's look at the other stem or stalk. You can see right here there's a lot more fruits ready for harvest. And then this other raspberries stalk over here, you can see it's pretty nicely pollinated. Like that fruit over there is pretty perfect. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot more raspberries. The grapes are looking pretty much the same. Just sending out more new leaves, like right here. Rhubarb, same thing. Some flowers forming at the base and new leaves coming out still. Potato is looking good. It's not flowering anymore, as you can see. And then at the surface of the soil, you can see the same thing. This purple potato is poking up. Lastly, we have the artichoke. I think the flower is fading away now. You can see it's kind of retracting inwards. And down here, you can see some baby artichoke plants coming up. And this is the harvest I did today with 3 strawberries and a bunch of raspberries. They're all very decent size. So yeah, this is the harvest I did today. As for the indoor garden, let's start with the succulents over here. You can see this baby plant. It's still attached to the flower spike. And at the base of the mother plants, you can see a lot more baby plants forming. And over here we have the orchids. These new growth are looking pretty much the same. And the flower, of course, is still around. I think they usually last for about 2 to 3 months. This one is still around too. And new growth on this main plant is pretty much the same too, and this plant is pretty much the same as well. These other orchids, you can see it's sending out some new growth, like this one over here, and then the other pot right here is also sending out some new growth. And then that little growth that I rescued from the soil looks like it's doing pretty well. And then here we have more orchids. This one looks pretty much the same, just lots of leaf growth. And this one, mini oncidium, you can see this flower has opened. And right here is another flower spike. Not sure how many flowers we're gonna get from this one. Down here is another mini oncidium and the other orchid. And here we have the phalaenopsis. You can see the leaf is getting bigger, and just a bunch of roots growth and this tiny new growth over here. I think it's a flower spike. And this orchid over here is not doing too well. As you can see, the leaf is kind of turning yellow because I haven't watered it for a while. Here we have the staghound fern. Let's just take a closer look at the shield frond. It's looking great, and I think it's actually still spreading outward, so it's still getting bigger. And on the side you can see this little shield frond forming too. Not really getting any bigger though. But yeah, the plant is looking really healthy. Over here we have the wandering Jew. Doesn't look like it's gonna recover after I trimmed the plants. But of course I kept the plants I trimmed, so here we have some nice roots forming, as you can see. Over here we have the snake plants. You can see this new growth is getting taller now. And this snake plant over here, this new leaf is still producing this sticky, syrupy substance. And then here we have the bird nest fern. It's looking really healthy. Lots of new leaves. And lastly we have the arrowhead plants. Looks like it's producing this new growth, but doesn't look like it's gonna recover too well. Well, the part that I kept, you can see roots forming at the stem in the water, so that's a good sign.